Mandy Powell. I'm the activities coordinator for Amber Hope Youthville in Newton. We've worked with Juniper since the very beginning, and now we have established where they come onto campus, work individually with our kids and in groups, and we do camp every summer. There's so much the kids get out of it. You can always tell the new kids because the first time that they come, they're super nervous. They don't really want to do it. When they play the instruments, there's a sense of pride, and you guys just really have a great understanding of how our kids work. They go from being these quiet, shy kids who are very unsure of themselves. They're kids that come from hard places. They don't have a lot of support or a lot of belief in their ability. To see them learn something that they're excited to share with everybody else and they're so proud of. For some of them, it's like for the first time, they're proud of themselves. To see them blossom into these leaders. It's not leading the rest of the group into negative behaviors, but having that positive influence and reaffirming that it spreads. It goes from, oh, well, I helped out at Juniper to, oh, I can do this and I will help out everywhere. And it's just amazing. I'm a huge believer in music, doing the arts, the positive effects of that, and I've seen it. I have kids who want to go up to the music room to practice guitar and on occasion practice ukulele. I wish that all of our kids could be a part of it. I could share so many stories. We have a kid who, at the time that we did art camp this summer, had just arrived. She's a migrant, so she hadn't even been in the United States for very long. English is not her first language, and in the short time she'd been in the US, she was a trafficking victim. Very withdrawn, like all the walls were up. She wouldn't interact with anybody. You couldn't get through to her. We kind of took a gamble and said, you know what? We'll send her to Juniper, see how it goes. The first day she was, really hesitant, really kind of hands off. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. But she tried it out. It was really kind of fun because she came back that afternoon and for the first time, actually was willing to talk to people and, hey, guess what I did today? Which was really, really awesome. And so as the week progressed, we started seeing her come out of her shell more and more. And I don't know that really would have happened if we couldn't have sent her with you guys.
My name is Eileen Price and I'm the choir director at Juniper Arts Academy. I first started at Juniper as a student advocate back in fall of 2021, and I was able to walk alongside students through their classes, support them in their singing or whatever activities we were doing, which was a lot of fun. What stands out to me about the relationships with students at Juniper is they're unique. Some students we have consistently for back-to-back sessions, and some students we see them come and go through one session. And what is unique is seeing the students who progressively come back course after course, watching their development. I think this program is making a difference in students' lives by giving them connections to other peers around them, tools that are used not only in the classroom with fine arts, but things that they can take into the real world and make applicable. The most special part of Juniper is just watching students form connections with the different people that we have here at Juniper, to see our community invest in the lives of students, and students respond very well and have a really positive experience that they can carry with them as they leave our program. What Juniper does is students aren't always their behavior, the behavior that we're seeing, and so taking the positive things that they're doing and affirming that in them, and then bringing them back in to the learning that we're doing is really powerful. A story here I'll always remember is I was teaching a choir class, and in the middle of the class we had a student, I'm not really sure what they were doing. They were making some sort of screeching, I don't know what they were doing. So what ended up happening is we ended up calling to them, and then they would call back to us, and it just kind of became a game of back and forth, call and response, echo, which just works out perfectly.
My name's Mary Clarkin, and I'm a volunteer. And that's how I came to know Juniper Arts Academy. I drove a student, a teen, to and from. First it was the art camp, and then it was the music camp. the difference between the traditional classroom where they see the gaps and they focus on that. In this summer camp, they see the positive and they feed into that. He liked the people. The people of all ages. I think he realized, perhaps he already knew it, but it just reinforced his aptitude with working with younger children. And I think Juniper saw that in him. And when it came time for the second camp, they asked if he would be okay taking more of like a student leadership role, and he was good with that. This gave him yet another avenue that was just his. His friends weren't in the camp, his brother wasn't in the camp, it was just his activity. Years from now, when he's talking with his peers, people from different walks of life, and perhaps the subject comes around to summer camp or what they did in the summer when they were teens. And they'll have stories about camps they went to, like the YMCA camp. And he will have stories too about camp.
I'm Jenna Bottleson, and I was volunteering this summer at the Juniper Arts camps, and I'm also on the board. My team was a group of boys, and it seems like sometimes they weren't always thrilled about the activity or maybe the artwork that we were doing, and kind of pretended like they weren't into it. And then they made these amazing masterpieces, and I was like, where was that hidden in there? It was really cool to see. What stood out to me was that they were expressing themselves and being vulnerable and being honest and real. You just don't see that very much anymore because everyone's got their face buried in a phone. I really felt like I got to know each and every one of them. It was great, and the connection was probably the best part. Making an effort even when there was hard stuff going on was pretty amazing. The most rewarding part for me is seeing the kids grow and being vulnerable enough to express themselves through the art or music and just trying, because so many kids these days, like I said, their face is buried in a phone and they're not even trying to engage.